Peace, 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 everyone. My name is Michael Jordan, aka the Sirius Alchemist, and I'm serious about my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious about my shit. Welcome back to another Saturday book review. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate all the comments I've been getting. Appreciate all the love y'all been showing. You feel me? I appreciate that. That's good looking out. But today's book review is going to be a little different today. I got several books. I'm gonna go into this Gnostic myth, going to these Gnostic myths, into this Gnostic literature. Um, Going to this Gnostic literature a little bit. So we're gonna deal with that. So the first book I'm gonna share with y'all is Hermetic Magic by Stephen Edred Flowers. And I did a book review on this book, but this book is excellent for what I'm going to present today. So I'm going to page 27, and I'm going to read a little something about the Gnostic ideas and the Gnostic sects, right? Okay, the Gnostic sects hold that the material world is ruled by an evil force. And most say that the material world is actually the creation of the evil demiurge. Surprisingly enough, when Gnostic thinking is applied to the Judeo-Semitic myth of Genesis, an understanding completely contrary to the conventional interpretation emerges. In the Gnostic mind, Yahweh, Elohim of Genesis, is identified as the demiurge, creator of this world, that is, the evil one. Yahweh, also called Ialdabaoth by many Gnostic sects, created the world and the natural parts of humanity, but tried to keep humankind in slavery and darkness, separate from the transcendent light. The savior of humanity was the serpent, right? So that's a little bit to give you a little introduction into the Gnostic myth and about this Ialdabaoth. So what this Gnostic myth is really saying is that this world is created by an evil God, right? By an evil demiurge God. And the story goes that the great mother, Sophia, was pregnant with a child, and the child was not fully formed in his mother's womb, and it tore out his mother's side and went to a certain part of the universe and created its own universe, which is the universe we reside in right now, which is the earth and the universe we live in right now, right? And he also created the 7 planets, which was also known as the 7 archons, right? I got a little image of that from the Tree of Life here to give you an idea. Okay, he created the 7 planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is Earth right here at the bottom. But they call it Malkuth in Hebrew. Right? In the Tree of Life, like I said, he created these 7 planets. But these other 3 up here, he ain't realized, remember, now, when he tore out his mother's side, right? And went to a remote part of the universe and created this universe, he was dumb, blind, and arrogant, right? He didn't realize there were gods above him, the prime creator of the universe. You see what I'm saying? And the whole Sirius star system and the whole Sirius star constellation, which resides up here, right? And he creating these 7 archons, these 7 evil archons, right? Didn't give them no light. He didn't give them no light. So they was mad because he ruled over them because they didn't have no light. So what happened was Sophia tricked them. She said, why don't you create a human? Right? Then you'll have somebody who the rule over because they won't have no light. And Ialdabaoth said, yeah, that's a good idea. And he said, and she told him the archons that you created to have somebody to rule over too, and they won't complain to you so much because they'll have somebody to rule over. But what Ialdabaoth didn't know, and the archons didn't know, that she was shitting them. She was tricking them. But what she did, she hid the real seed and the real light inside the humans. She went in there and put the real seed in there. And once Ialdabaoth realized that he got tricked, he was like, oh, shit. The humans are higher than me because they got the real light. They got the real seed. They got the light from the universal prime creator, which comes from Sirius, right? So once he realized that, he said, I'm going to try to kill everything down there. Pay attention, family. He said, I'm going to try to kill everything down there. Hence, why you think so many young brothers be getting shot in the street? And they say ain't nothing seemed to be done about it, because what happened was they dug these texts up in 1945, right? In Qumran, Egypt, right? The same year they dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Remember, listen to that name, Nagasaki. But anyway, they dug these texts up that year. Found out these were the original texts to the Christianity, which is Gnosticism, right? But what they did, they suppressed these texts. They didn't know the governments around the world didn't let people know about these texts. They was real quiet about it, right? But what they found out when they dug up them texts, that the God of this world was on the white man's side. That's what they found out when they dug up these texts. And they didn't, and then they had them translated in 1955, and they had them translated again in 1977, right? So when they had them translated in 1955, they came with this work. I think it was this one. Let me see. Yeah, this work. This work right here. Gnosticism, A New Light on the Ancient Tradition of Inner Knowing by Stephen A. Holler, right? He came interpreted and came with this book, killed them. See, they had to hide this shit. They couldn't come out with this. They had to hide it. You know what I'm saying? And the governments around the world was in on it. You know what I'm saying? They knew what these texts was and what was in here. And see, we had no way of knowing. We going to church every day, studying, praying, you know what I'm saying? We ain't knowing the God of this world, what this God of this world is, a demiurge. You know what I'm saying? The true God is from Sirius, the prime creator of the universe. It's from Sirius, right? But anyway, back to the information. So I'm gonna read something from the book like I always do, family. Hope somebody go out and get it, because the book is worth its weight in gold. Like I said, it's Gnosticism, A New Light on the Ancient Tradition of Inner Knowing. And I'm gonna read this on page 66. And it says, Christ, the timeless liberator. From the place of light have I gone forth. From thee, bright habitation, I come to fill the hearts, to measure and try all minds, to see in whose heart I dwell, in whose mind I repose. Who thinks of me? Of him I think. Who calls my name? His name I call. Who prays my prayer from down below? His prayer I pray from the place of light. I came and found the truthful and believing hearts, when I was not dwelling among them, yet my name was on their lips. I took them and guided them up to the world of light. Ooh, family. Y'all got to get this book. They had to hide this stuff right here. They had to hide it. They ain't want y'all knowing about this. You know what I'm saying? They had to hide it. Get this book. It's worth its weight in gold. Trust me. Trust me, family. Like I said, this Ialdabaoth, he's also known as Yahweh in Hebrew. He's also known as Ogu to the Dogon. And he's also known in Egypt as Set, or there's two sets in Egypt, so you don't want to get them confused. The first set is the original Set, and then the second set is Set Typhon, which is the devil. So you don't want to get them confused, right? So the God of this world is the devil, is what they basically said. That's what the Gnostics are saying. When you get this work, they just basically tell you the God of this world, he ain't no friend. He's a tyrant. You know what I'm saying? He's a wrath. He's a brimming fire God, a killer God. He ain't no loving God, because he told you, I'm a jealous God. Thou shalt have no other God before me. He told you who he was. Jealousy is not a divine attribute. It's a very low vibration, first of all. So I want y'all to pay attention to the myth that's being kicked here, right? Okay. Let me read something from the back, family, like I always do. Through the cracks in the universe, the light of the transcendent penetrates our vision and awakens us to possibilities long desired, but not yet realized. The Greek word gnosis means knowledge. The Gnostic worldview developed alongside Judeo-Christianity 2,000 years ago. But while Christianity emphasizes faith, Gnosticism emphasizes a state of consciousness for knowing God directly, an aim which mainstream Christianity finds heretical or heresy. Stephen Holler's comprehensive overview is an unfolding historical drama filled with passion, political intrigue, martyrdom, and mystery. It also reveals Gnosticism as the indigenous mystical tradition of the West. We learn about the Gnostic view of the divine and the manifest world, good and evil, and the essence of the human soul. And remember, it also talked about in the Bible, did you eat of the tree of life which I commanded you not to eat of? That was in the middle of the tree. This is the tree of life they're speaking of, family. And the garden was here, where that H is at, where you see that's Doth. That represents Doth. That's where the Garden of Eden was. It was metaphysical. None of that shit is historical or physical. It's metaphysical. So I'm trying to get people to understand it's all metaphysical. And if you get these books, you'll understand that. Okay, the Gnostic Christ as the messenger of light and the guide to sacred mystery. Sophia, the Gnostic archetype of feminine wisdom. The scriptures, sacraments, and rituals of Gnostic religions, such as the Mandean, holding secret wisdom, traced back to John the Baptist, the Manichaean, founded by the great 3rd century Persian prophet Mani, and the Cathar, the glorious persecuted movement in medieval southern France. Gnostic literature and its influence on cultural giants such as Voltaire, Blake, Yeats, Hess, Melville, and Young. Gnosticism and Jung family. Let me tell you about Carl Gustav Jung. He was a Russian or German psychiatrist. I can't remember if he's Russian or German, which one, but he was very popular for what he did. And before he died, he told the world that them black people you're oppressing over there in America, it's all about them. That's what he told the world before he died. Them black people you oppressing over there in America, it's all about them. Yeah, and they gonna find that out, right? So Gnosticism, West and East, what constitutes a Gnostic and how Gnosticism can guide us into the 21st century. This book is a must-have in your library, family. It's a must-have. It was a must. It's a must-have in your library. And this one is another must-have. And this one, if you had to get any of them out, all of them, I mean, I can't really say, but this is just a good one. I'll say that. It's called The Gnosis, and it's by William Kingsland, or Ancient Wisdom in the Christian Scriptures. This is the real stuff, family. This ain't that carved up crap we've been getting. The King James, this ain't carved up. This is the real deal Holyfield, family. Let me read this from the back for y'all real quick. It says, this book is of extraordinary value in unearthing the real Christian message, as understood by the gospel writers at a time before the church was turned into an organ of state. The author demonstrates that the scriptures are not always to be taken literally as biographies of the life of Christ, but that they also contain allegorical and symbolical levels of meaning as well. The figure of Christ that emerges is not so much one of a suffering Savior, pouring out his lifeblood for the redemption of the world, but rather a guide to the essential gnosis that the kingdom of heaven lies within. It becomes clear that the teachings of Christ have far more in common with those of such other great world teachers as the Buddha, Krishna, Hermes Trismegistus, and Zoroaster than is generally supposed by most practicing Christians. Unlike many other books on the subject of Christian scripture, which often present a superficial view of Christianity, the Gnosis, or ancient wisdom in the scriptures, is reasoned, logical, and intellectually refreshing. Family, the Gnosis, that's where Genesis comes from. The Gnosis, the genes of Isis. The genes of Isis is the Genesis. It's where it comes from, family. Get this book, especially this one. I mean, get all of them. I want to say especially this one. Get all of them, but this one is a good one. This, I guess, this is one of my favorites because I learned so much from this book. I mean, man, I got so many jewels out this book, family, and I want to share it. I hope somebody go get this book. It's probably gonna be hard to find. It may not be. I think it's still in print. The Gnosis, or Ancient Wisdom in the Christian Scriptures by William Kingsland. Family, get this book. I'm gonna read some from here. And it's on page 76. It says, as it was in ancient times, so it is today. Thus, Mr. Adams Beck, in her instructive work, The Story of Oriental Philosophy, says, it must never be forgotten that in the Eastern philosophies, there is an opening meaning for the many and a hidden meaning for the few who are thus initiated and instructed. This is emphatically so with the Vedanta and certain teachings of the Buddha. Moving about in India, Ceylon, Burma, and Japan, one is much struck with the fact that these esoteric meanings are most carefully guarded and seldom meet the observer except in the most favorable circumstances. Yet, there are none to those who are able to penetrate beneath the surface. family. So what they telling you there is that this stuff is allegory and symbolical. Like I'll keep trying to say, sublime mythology become grotesque history. This stuff is allegorical. It's esoteric. It's inner. It's about the inner, not the outer. That's where all the mysteries is about the inner. So I'm trying to get y'all to see, get the books, and you'll see that for yourself. And that's why I come and put these books in front of y'all, so you ain't got to come to me and say, "Oh, great one, can you know?" No, you get the book and read it for yourself and know it for yourself, and then you can get out there and teach others. Because we need more people teaching this stuff. We need more teachers out here teaching this. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to reach the whole world. We got to change the world, and ain't nobody coming from out there to change this world. We gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Ain't no nothing out there. Ain't nothing coming from out there to change this mess. We got to do it. We're going to do it, family. Just know that. We're going to do it. And get the book. And this book, The Allure of Gnosticism, must have it in your library. The Gnostic Experience in Jungian Psychology and Contemporary Culture by Robert A. Siegel, June Singer, and Murray Stein. Must have in your library, family. They go in. I'm going to read some stuff from the back of this one because this is other authors. This is what other authors said about this book. Check this out. Gnosticism, an early form of Christianity that was anciently suppressed as heresy, possessed an attitude and set of concerns that have striking affinities to the psychology of Carl Gustav Jung. This book focuses on the experiential dimension of Gnosticism, where the religion was actually lived, is a refreshing change of pace by Dan Merker, author of Powers Which We Do Not Know. Another author. This book is a concatenation of sparks of religious light. Gnosticism is to be understood as the ongoing formulation of freshly imagined spirits, a logos of what we can know about those moments when the religious experience itself breaks through the veils of dogma to assert the psychological reality of a living, redemptive Godhead. By John Beebe, author of Integrity and Depth. This volume ranges from the near-classic treatments by such well-known scholars as church historian Gilles Quispel, philosophers Hans Jonas, and Buddhologist Edward Kantz, to new approaches by scholars of very diverse orientations, including historians of religion, Jungian analysis, and in one case, a Gnostic bishop speaking from her own experience. What binds them all together is the attempt to see the connection between the ancient gnosis and the problems and possibilities of our own age. This, who wrote that? David Miller Watson, professor of religion, Syracuse University. Robert A. Siegel is a lecturer in religious studies at the University of Lancaster, England. He has written Joseph Campbell, An Introduction, and edited Gnostic Young. June Singer is the author of Boundaries of the Soul and Seeing Through the Visible World. That's a good book, Seeing Through the Visible World by June Singer. Get that if you can, but I just saw that. But Treatment of Christianity as the editor of the much acclaimed manual on Jungian analysis. Family, this book is a must-have in your library. The Lure of Gnosticism. And it's got the mystery of marriage and the Gospel of Philip. I mean, it's got so much. It's got references. It's got, man, family. It's got so much in here. I just can't do this book justice. Only you can do it but justice by going and purchasing and studying it for yourself. Feel me? And this one is a must-have. The Gnostic Scriptures by Bentley Layton. He translated it in 1977. And he did a hell of a job, family. Benny Layton, The Gnostic Scriptures, is the one indispensable book for the understanding of Gnosis and Gnosticism. No other translations are within light years of Layton's in eloquence, pathos, and accuracy, while no other commentaries match his as an introduction to this perpetually relevant religious stance. Layton is particularly brilliant in his appreciation of Valentinus, the central Gnostic visionary whose gospel of truth is marvelously served in this translation. You got to read the gospel of truth. And in here, they got some of the sayings that Jesus said in here, right? Some of the sayings that Jesus said, his original sayings. And one of his sayings that Jesus said, his disciples came to him and asked him, and they said, Christ, how should we go about diet? And Christ said to them, it is better for the man to eat the lion so that the lion becomes like the man, then the lion to eat the man, and the man become like the lion. I said, ooh, that was heavy. That's what he said when he comes to die. He said, y'all know y'all like eating and drinking and eat the drink and food. Be merry. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Right? That's what he said. This book is full of Jesus saying in the back. All his sayings that never made it into the Bible. You know why? Because they know they couldn't control you if they told you all these sayings. They couldn't control you. So y'all got to get this book, family. Worth its weight in gold. The Gnostic Scriptures by Bentley Layton. A new translation. Text drug up in 1945. This is the real Christian scriptures. They had to hide. You got to understand why they had to hide this stuff. They had to hide this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And all the governments around the world was in on it. Trust me. They was in on hiding this stuff because they didn't want people to know, because you can't control people that know the truth. You just can't control them. The Nag Hammadi Library. This is the original text that was dug up in 1945 by James Robinson. Get this. Put this in your library. This is a must-have. This is the original text before it got all carved up. Pure ain't been carved up. Most of us that went to church, growing up going to church, we was little, we already know the stories. All we got to do is read this and put it together. This will put it together for you. Trust me. This will put it all together for you. They tried to hide this stuff. They didn't want this out. They didn't want people to know about this. You know what I'm saying? The Nag Hammadi Library by James Robinson. Get it. Put it in your library and study it. Teach it to your children. Because that stuff they know now is baloney. Get the book. Another one. Secret Books of the Egyptian Gospels by Jean Duress. Serious piece of work. See, family, I don't play when it comes to this stuff. I'm serious about my shit. I don't play when it comes to this stuff. I might get 20 books on one subject because I want to get to the bottom. I want to get to the truth. I want to know the truth. And I don't care where the truth comes from. White, black, purple, green, blue, whoever. I don't care. I don't get into that color stuff. If you're kicking the truth, I'm with it. I don't care what color you are. It don't matter to me. It matters where your heart is, where your consciousness is. Where's that at? I don't give a shit about your skin. That shit don't mean nothing to me. You know, we got to get past that. But get this book, family. I'm going to read something from the back. It's called The Secret Books of the Egyptian Gnostics by Jean Duress. And it says, this prodigious collection of sacred Gnostic texts came to light in the 1940s when the treatises concealed for 16 centuries were discovered in Chinoboscan, a remote hamlet of Upper Egypt. Among them was the Gospel according to Thomas, which aroused international publicity and alerted the world to the major importance of the Boscan find. Now, see, they didn't let the masses know about this. They took it around to certain people, so-called high-ups and all that, and let them know about it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when they found this stuff, they realized that the God of this world was on their side. Imagine finding that out, family. You're a government on this planet, and you find out the God of this world is on your side. See, because like I was telling you about his evil spirits, he could put his evil spirit, because when black people ruled the world, we were spiritual people. He couldn't put them evil archons in us. You know what I'm saying? And every time we would rise up so high, he would manipulate the priests to manipulate the scriptures and mess up stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what he would do, this algebra. So when you study this stuff, you know how to know who he is, and you also know how to get rid of him. How to take him out. You know what I'm saying? Worth its weight in gold. This book ain't but $22. Worth its weight in gold. You must have in your library if you want to understand this stuff. And then then we going into the Epistle Sophia. Now, Sophia, she's the one who had the eye out about. She's the mother. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he tore out of her side while he was being formed in his mother's womb, and he wasn't fully formed yet. So he tore out of her side, now fully formed. And like I said, he was arrogant, he was ignorant, and he was blind. And he realized there was gods above him. There was a whole prime creator of the universe up there, and the great mother and all that, the Sirius star constellation and all that. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't recognize that. You feel me? So anyway, get this book, family. This is by G.R.S. Mead, The Gnostic Tradition of Mary Magdalene, Jesus, and His Disciples. This is real serious. This is real serious if you really want to understand. If you really want to understand the truth. If you want to get to the truth, get these books, family. Get these books. Because I'm serious about my shit. This is what I do. Let me read something from the back of here. The Pistis Sophia is unquestionably a document of paramount historical importance, not only in terms of Christianity, but also with respect to the development of Western religion. It originated among the early Christian mystics called Gnostics, meaning those who know, because of their spiritual wisdom. Gnostic teachers were persecuted and most of their writings destroyed. So Pistis Sophia stands as an extremely important, as well as magically engaging window into these mystic thoughts. This gospel relates the story of how we humans, as spiritual beings, have fallen from grace into the snares of the physical world. Our souls are asleep, unaware of their true nature. But these teachings can help us awaken. The teacher is Christ, who explains life mysteries to his disciples and Mary. Their discussions take place after Christ's resurrection and includes account of his ascension into heaven and his return, using Sophia, a fallen angel who was redeemed, as an example. Christ explains the process of salvation and redemption, stressing the necessity for repentance, renunciation of the world, and faith. Family, the God of this world is not who you think he is. He's the devil. He got the whole world fooled. And I know this video ain't for the faint of heart. And I know those who's supposed to see it will see it. Those who ain't won't. It is what it is. But it's truth. If you get these books, you understand what I'm telling you is the truth. And study it. Meditate on it. All that. You feel me? And family, I got one more book to share with y'all. Why, in this video, it's called The Kabbalah for a Modern World. By Majin Gonzalez Whippler. Kabbalah for the Modern World. Family, this book is a must-have in your library. I'm gonna read some from the back. And if y'all don't go get these books and y'all don't want to know the truth, if you want to know the truth, you'll go get these books and study them and read them, because, man, that stuff they've been giving us, it ain't working. It ain't working no more. So try this out. Check this out. But anyway, let me read this from the back. Kabbalah, wisdom for the world. Everything that is taught by Kabbalah finds echoes in the latest scientific findings about the origin of the cosmos and ourselves. More than 3 decades after its original release, this classic introduction to the Kabbalah by Majin Gonzalez Whippler has never been more relevant and timely. The word Kabbalah is a derivation of the Hebrew root word KBL, kibble, which means to receive. It aptly describes the ancient tradition of receiving the secret doctrine orally. The Kabbalah is a philosophical and theosophical system that maps out correspondences between archetypal aspects of human life and the universal laws. Kabbalah for the Modern World was the first book to present the Kabbalah from a scientific orientation and show how it relates to such modern scientific models as quantum theory, chaos theory, relativity, black holes, and dark matter. Excuse me. It also shows that the Kabbalah, a prime source for both Judaism and Christianity, does not have a patriarchal concept of God, and goes on to prove the equal importance of the feminine principle in both the creation of the macrocosmic universe and the microcosm of the self. For those who are willing to learn its secrets, the Kabbalah offers a powerful system for self-discovery, personal evolution, and spiritual development. With her clear prose and warm, knowledgeable manner, Majin Gonzalez Whippler makes this ancient esoteric wisdom accessible for modern readers. Family, get the book. Worth its weight in gold. And let me read something in here for you. And it gives you a lot of images of the tree of life, the 3 pillars. You know what I'm saying? The 3 pillars. You know, it gives you a lot of correspondences. Gives you another tree with the 3 pillars. You know what I'm saying? The right pillar, mercy, the middle pillar, mildness, and the last pillar, judgment. And the names gives you the, you know, all the names of the spheres and the planets of the tree. And like I said, this was the Garden of Eden, where Doth is. If you understand metaphysics, you understand that. And then it says each of the Sephiroth is in a way androgynous or bisexual in essence, for it is feminine or receptive to the Sephiroth that precedes it, and masculine or transmissive to the Sephiroth that follows it. Deep. Family, this way, it's got correspondence in here that gives you correspondence like between Kether and Chakma and Bina, and gives you other things that correspond with it. Like one that I like to use a lot is this. Let's see, where is it? If I can find it real quick. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, I'd like to use this one when I'm yeah, this is it. This is a correspondence between the Sephiroth, the planets, and various pantheons. So I want to get this on tape. Y'all can see that. And it kind of gives you the correspondence between the Kabbalah and other pantheons and stuff. So the family, this book is a must-have in your library. You feel me? All these books that I showed today are must-have in your library. My name is Michael Jordan, aka the Sirius Alchemist. If you like my content, please hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? If you like a reading from me, I'll leave my email down in the description box. Hit me up. I'll be glad to do it for you. I do fire readings. So that's going to end this book review today. My name is Michael Jordan, aka the Sirius Alchemist. Peace.